Just about do, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Well, very good evening. Welcome along to the Semi-Pros. Great to have your company on another big week in sport. Different outlook here tonight. Steve Glover, how you going?
Top end of town, mate. The air's a bit thinner. We're a bit closer to the sun. I can nearly see Brisbane when I walk out the door. How good's this? Didn't know this side of town existed.
This would be your side of
up
town.
here.
This would be your side of town.
Good to be up here.
Giles Dower, how are you?
Yeah, it is good to be back up in Beverly Hill up here, isn't it? It's nice up here. Top end of town. Yeah, really good, thanks. Big night on tonight. A couple of golfing local legends, I suppose.
Yeah, plenty happening at the moment. We were out there today.
Yeah, wet?
No, we didn't actually. Or a raincoat, didn't need it. We would have got 1 to 5 mil today. Weatherman.
Probably 4. I reckon
100.
it's good. Softened the greens in there.
Well, they stopped play today too out there, didn't they?
Had an
Couple
hour
of
or
hours
two
off. Yeah.
2 hours. Got a bit heavy. Let the course dry out. But it's looking magnificent, really.
But we were out there, we'll talk a bit more about this after, but we saw the local boys, Anthony Timms, go around, Chris Britnell, Quinn Croker.
Yeah, yep.
How was Quinn hitting them?
I think he dropped another couple just after we left. Might be a couple over, 2, 3, 4 over. So, but just holding on a couple of shots there. He sort of, what would be described if we hit him as pretty awesome. We would have loved it. But sprayed by his standards.
Yeah.
But too got some good golf going on there, and good to see a few people out and about following him around too.
Yeah, it was awesome. So the next couple of days you can get out there and support all of that with the Queensland PGA. We're going to talk about that shortly though. Brock Greenhalgh is going to join us. He is the state manager of PGA, and also James Nitty's one of the stars on display out there today. They're going to join us shortly. But boys, elite cryotherapy poll. We put up the question earlier in the week, and geez, it went nuts. I have to have a look at where
Gangbusters,
where
isn't it?
ended up. Davey Warner won the AB medal. A little bit of conjecture. Should he have got it? Did he deserve it? Did he not? So we threw out the poll. The elite cryotherapy poll was, did David Warner deserve to be AB medalist?
Nah, what a rort. What a rort. He's had one of the worst. If he didn't make runs in the first 2 tests back on Australia's soil, he was gone. That was it. Out.
You called it too, didn't you?
Averaged 9.4 in 10 bats in the Ashes. So in an Ashes year, anyone who's won the AB medal has averaged over 40 as a batsman in an Ashes series. He's come up and absolutely smoked 9, and didn't even smoke 9. He probably nicked 9 too. He didn't even hit any in the middle of the bat. So Dave Warner, if he was the best cricketer for our Australian team in the last 12 months, then God help us.
Right.
That's
right.
hideous.
I'll come back to that.
Would he have been top 3?
No.
Who should have been? All right, hang on.
Cummins is clearly our best player. World Cricketer of the Year, and can't win the AB medal.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
So what, you're saying no as well?
100%. I think, look, I was one of the 29% that voted yes on the poll, only because I thought I'd be the only one causing a bit of a shit stir, but clearly not. There's 29% others who also tried to do the same thing, but that's a G up. Surely. He was suspended for what portion of it?
Well, the start of it anyway.
Exactly. I like what someone said. I don't know if it was on our comments there or in a comment on another thread, that should have made him ineligible.
Yeah. That's actually why I say no, is that because I know most of these medals, like the Brownlow and things, that's best and fairest. If you get suspended, you're ineligible for start.
Exactly.
But anyway, take that out. So, Steve, what you're basically saying, though, is that the system's wrong. Like, how he could poll enough votes to win it.
Exactly,
Like, he's a 3-format guy. That
Yeah.
helps, obviously, because it goes towards all 3 formats. But so that'd be my next question.
Who votes for it?
Well, that goes through media, whoever votes with 3-2-1s from each match.
But how you can rate a 2020 the same as a test match.
match.
So that's the
Exactly.
question. So that's what's saying.
The flawed system.
So it needs...
But it's a bit like the Brownlow. Like the Brownlow's favoured to a midfielder. You're not going to win that as a defender or a forward either. So it's an all-rounders medal, really. So it's average all the way. No, it doesn't.
But even
excel
again,
at
like
anything.
Paddy Cummins was pretty handy with the bat over in England, wasn't he? He scored a few runs over there.
Well, yeah, and even look at Marnus Labuschagne.
Yeah, well,
You won Test Player of the Year, so I suppose you got something. But yeah, but look, so our results there for our elite cryotherapy poll. So 71% said no to the did David Warner deserve the AB medal. I'll quickly read a couple of comments. Michael Hanna said Pat Cummins, it's not even a question, it's a disgrace he didn't win. Shane Mogg said it's a yes from me. People seem to hang up on the Ashes for some reason and forgot about the one day in 2020 formats. He's a player that can adapt to all formats of the game. Great in the field. People just hate him for the ball tampering saga. Move on, people.
I don't think they hate him for the ball tampering saga. I just think they hate him for being a knob.
he's just a whinging little germ, isn't he?
Blake Anderson, I believe Warner deserved the medal, but I think the system needs an overhaul. Man of the match in a T20 gets the same votes as man of the match in a test. So
What we're going against saying again there.
Lincoln Humphreys, Macca's loose change menu got robbed, assuming he means Marnus Labuschagne in Lincoln Humphreys language. A lot of people there are basically on board. Well, as I said, the end result was no, an overwhelming no in our elite cryotherapy poll. No, 71% said no, he did not deserve the AB medal. So that's our elite cryotherapy poll. And also, just while we're on elite cryotherapy, big congratulations. The boys had a big night out at the Sports Darling Downs Awards last Saturday night. Leon Spain was named as the Coach of the Year, and Brandon Spain picked up the Sports Darling Downs Senior Runner-Up Sports Star of the Year.
How about the night before? They went away to the Muay Thai Awards as well.
Yeah.
Cleaned up there as well, the boys. They, I think it was Fight of the Year and Trainer of the Year at the ISKA Muay Thai Awards.
So a big couple of days there.
Steve might have to get the hammer out and build them a new trophy cabinet, the fellas.
Doing good. So elite cryotherapy. So Brandon, Leon Spain, pop down and see them there. Righto, that's a look at our elite cryotherapy poll. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to focus in on the Queensland PGA, which is underway at the moment in the Garden City. That's up next.
In my line of work, I see a lot of kitchens and great renovations on a daily basis. And look, the work that the guys at Weston's do is phenomenal. Like, their attention to detail is definitely second to none.
We knew we had what idea we had in mind. We wanted modern, we wanted sleek, and they worked with us the entire way. Their design team helped us, and anything that didn't look like it might have worked well, they helped us rectify and suggested different points that we could take on for the kitchen. So it was great. They were perfect to work with, and we'd definitely do it all over again with them.
Bathrooms next.
Thanks for joining us on the show, whether it's via our podcast or on the radio, or of course via our Facebook Live. Great to have you with us live with us here now. Queensland PGA, the Coca-Cola Queensland PGA Championship is underway at the moment in the Garden City. Two guests joining us now. First of all, Brock Greenhouse is the state manager, PGA. Did I get that right?
Yeah, well done.
Excellent. Right. So that's total. And one of the stars out in course, James Nitties. Welcome along.
Hello, boys.
Brock, first of all, how first day, look, from your point of view, we saw you out there last week running around like mad. There was water all over the place. You saw us out in the course, and so you even let people play while you're trying to get it set for a week later. It must have been, we love the weather, obviously. We love the wet weather, but it's caused a logistical nightmare, I'm sure, for you guys and the staff there at City to get us where we've got to today.
Yeah, and I guess the long and short is we can't control it. You're exactly right. It's a nightmare, and if you could control it, you certainly wouldn't be hoping it had 105 mils Saturday, another 50 mils Sunday, and then trying to run a pre-qualifying before a big week. So, it's not perfect, but just rolling with the punches, James. And I guess the long and short is we've got a leader now at 9 under par who clearly it didn't impact him today.
Nothing wrong with the course.
No,
Or the
clearly
weather.
not. Yeah.
So he shot that's happened today. Equal course record, 61 9 under today.
Yeah, that's right. Tim Hart currently holds the course record. I guess the first person to shoot 61. Darren Beck also did it a couple of years ago as well. And 61 today, raining at the start of the day. Playing with Nick Cullen and Jake McLeod, who I guess probably would have been thinking they had his measure and the old boy wasn't going to get him. But I guess he showed them that he's the highest ranked world player in the field this week for a very good reason.
He went around with a bogey free too, didn't he? Didn't miss a putt, and
the boys just said he had so many opportunities. He could have had a couple more if he'd hold it, but you're not going to hold them all. It's golf, right?
Unfortunately. Well, James, you were out there. How was the course?
Yeah, I didn't see 9 under in my group. That's a phenomenal round out there today. It's pretty tight, and they've actually, this year, which has been different to past years, is the rough's really long in the trees. So it's a short golf course, so a lot of the bombers will tend to, just get up there and let it fly every hole, and then they're like, if we hit it in the trees, we can just chip it out onto the green. But now it's a cool thing to have like long grass in the trees, because you can't keep the ball low enough because you have to get it through the grass, but also you have to get it out of the trees. So I think it's a great, considering all the weather and the rain, the course has held up really well, and the greens are a tad wet and a tad slow, which you would get with the amount of rain that they've had up here. But every year it sort of poses a different challenge, and last year it was really dry and the ball was going miles, and this year it's sort of wet, so it's more target golf. But as I said, the rough in the trees and the condition makes it a little tougher. So 9 under, that's special. I mean, I didn't even dream of that last night. So
Yeah, mate, we know plenty about that rough getting out there on Saturday mornings. We probably kicked a couple of our balls that were left there. But with the wet conditions, does it's an advantage for, I suppose, your more accurate irons players? Is it the guys that don't necessarily spray them into the rough? They might not hit the longer ball, but they've got that sort of short game under their really honed in. Is that an advantage for those type of players?
I don't think so. Primarily, I think the advantage is to this course for the guys who hit it miles. Because if the thing is, when you hit it a long way, the ball, if you go offline, the ball tends to bounce off into the trees. But here, it just sort of plugs. So, if you need to be accurate around this golf course, but also the guys that are hitting it shorter and more accurate still are going to have a lot longer into the greens because the ball's not running out. So they could just pipe one straight down the middle. It's going to sort of roll out about 5 metres. They're still going to have like a longer club in. So this is always, it's a weird golf course in the fact that I don't think it's an advantage to anyone. You can play it like 87 different ways, this golf course. Obviously, I didn't pick the best one out of that 87 today. But it's a good test, and it gives you a different challenge every time.
tell us about your round today. How did you fare? What time did you tee off, and what did you hit?
So I hit off at 7:35 this morning. So up bright and early at about 4:45 to sort of crack the bones and
In the fog.
get moving.
The Toowoomba fog was out this morning as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in my brain most of that. So it was kind of a bit daunting in the morning because it rained just sort of before we teed off, and we were like, oh, here we go, this is going to be an all-day affair. But so I had one over par. I didn't get off to a really great start. I was a couple over through 9 and came back. I think I bogeyed that my last hole to shoot 1 over. So I had a better back 9, but trying to go deep tomorrow, 9 under would be pretty good.
What do you reckon? What's going to make the cut? What sort of score are we looking at? I know it's early days at this stage, but
yeah, we'll probably see it's actually been more like 3 or 4 under par to make the weekend, but the scores now look like it's going to be closer to even or even 1 under par. So we do see the likes of Ben Eichen, who was 1 under through 9 holes and had the whole world watching. Unfortunately, didn't quite start the back 9 as well as he wanted to today, but they're the kind of guys that now come into contention or come into potentially making the cut and never having done it before.
Sam Eves, another one, had a great round today. So he was from Warwick. Sam, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. So he's a head professional at Warwick, and I guess that's the beauty of our game. You don't necessarily have to be the young up-and-coming star. You don't have to be the person who's a seasoned professional. He's trying to run a pro shop. He was giving lessons this morning. He's gone out there and shot a great score of 4 under par, and he's one of the only players in the field that has played in the tournament all 11 years at the Queensland PGA Championship's been here in Toowoomba. So that's pretty cool.
So you have a combination of obviously your pro shop pros as opposed to your touring pros that follow the circuit around. What percentages that way each way?
Yeah, certainly a high percentage of tournament professionals, and the main reason for that is that these guys are out there making a living, and that's our role, is to try and make sure that they reach their career potential. And ultimately, Sam's had a crack himself and was very successful. Played some golf in Japan for a couple of years, but now as what we would classify as a vocational member, he gets to impart that knowledge onto others, and potentially he's got 2 trainees who are also playing in the field here this week. Now, from my point of view, that's really exciting, because they're going to be able to share those experiences with their clients and their members back at their golf club, and inspire more people to play the great game that we get to, on and off all the time.
And Brock, from your point of view this year, the field assembled is a crackerjack field that's lined up to compete this year.
I say it all the time, and I often like to think that I can continue to keep bettering the year before and the year before that. And I was talking to the general manager, Peter Constance, of the City Golf Club this year to say, Pete, I know I keep saying I'm going to top it again, but I'm not sure I can next year. Unfortunately, we had Nick O'Hearn pull out really late due to some personal circumstances. Nick and I certainly go about 15 years back through our time in WA, but I guess from my point of view, what I'd like to think is that we've got a mixture of young, old, experienced, inexperienced, and guys that we're going to be able to see throughout the whole of 2020 winning tournaments all around the world.
Speaking of the tournament itself, this one that we've got here now, what's the prize money for, say, winning this tournament?
$150,000 in prize money is on offer. The lion's share of that 150 grand will go to the winner. Not only that, it'll also be the exemptions into the Australian PGA Championship, the Australian Open. It's moving up the order of merit, getting starts in World Golf Championship events and even major championships. So never think that this tournament sits at a level lower than any others on the PGA Tour of Australasia, because a win is a win. And when you're playing against 155 other PGA professionals, winning in this game certainly doesn't come that easy.
What's great as well about this tournament, obviously, is how it does everything it can to promote the city of Toowoomba, and you get out and about in a few of the promos. Never ever to the day thought I'd see people hitting golf balls in the Empire Theatre.
Yeah, and I guess
you probably won't be allowed to do it again either. Look, watching that video you put up last night as well.
Yeah, Emily from the Empire Theatre was wonderful, very accommodating. And
did you get a crack at that?
No, we hit some balls down a couple alleyways in front of some of the artwork in downtown, so that was quite odd. But yeah, it was a good kind of horse game. Then we played Connect Four and had a burger at the end of it, so it was all good.
Oh, you at Walton's? Were you down
Harry's.
Harry's. Yeah, down at Walton's. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, James. Our role come Sunday afternoon is making sure we've had a positive influence on the city, a positive influence on the City Golf Club, a positive influence on the golfing community of the Darling Downs, and that's our responsibility, and we hold that responsibility in really high regard. And if we can do that on Sunday afternoon, we're pretty sure we'll be back the following 12 months.
So the Empire, you're launching golf balls off the stage into the theatre.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, we'd set up some signs. Mamma Mia's there in a few weeks, and check it out on Facebook. The boys had a ball, and listen, that's probably somewhere that the guys wouldn't get to see. You know, I've actually taken my father to see Susie Quattro there, and
Susie Q.
Yeah, there's been some great acts there, and as you know, as James will attest to, often we go golf course, hotel, and the guys got an opportunity to see something that they would have never had an opportunity before, potentially never do it again.
Yeah, you guys have got a pretty hidden gem here in Toowoomba. I mean, you've got a mountain town that's in the middle of Queensland, and it's got a lot of culture to this town. It's it's cool, it's funky. I enjoy coming back here. So it's there's a lot of tournaments we play throughout the year where it's like, all right, well, this is going to be one of those golf to hotel weeks. Try to get as much out of it as we can. There's not much to do except get a Mars bar from the gas station and go to Macca's, but. Here
you can still do that.
Well, some nights are tough, but here, like, the food's great, the coffee's good. I mean, a lot of the golfers love the coffee, and then the town just feels like you're on holiday in a different part of the world. So it's good little adventure.
How is that? So obviously played this morning, the afternoon. Do you fill that in with getting out and about, or do you go and hit the practice fairways?
Yeah, see, I would probably put myself in the class of wily veteran. So, I'm not a whippersnapper anymore. So I'm not going to go hit the range for hours because I kind of know what I can do, and I'd probably reserve the body a little bit. But either go to the movies, get a coffee, I went and got a nice big barbecue chook today and made some lunch, but. Then I went to the gym, and obviously I'm here. But you just try to fill in the day, especially morning tea times where you can not actually be sitting around watching TV and have a bit of fun.
Mate, speaking of TV, got a bit of a viewer question here. How close did you get to becoming The Bachelor?
This tends to come up every time I do an interview. I got offered the position and I turned it down. So
Did you find love already, or
no? But I'd like to think it was destiny because I'm on the path of the girlfriend of 4 years now. So that was 10 years ago. I was pretty humbled to the two guys in front of me knocked it back. So I was a third choice. And then I got the call up by NBC and they said, "Do you want to go on?" And by that time I'd read the contract and it wasn't pretty. The contract, it was So I was flattered. All my buddies wanted me to go on there because it's just me and a bunch of girls. But
Might get a few offshoots.
Well,
handball a couple.
I didn't want all the female population of America hating me after I went on that show because I tend to be a bit honest. So, it's a true story. But I turned it down.
Did you give it any thought?
I said yes because they come to you and they ask you if you're interested. I did a couple interviews, talked to a couple of the producers. And then, as I said, the contract was bigger than this encyclopedia book that you got on the table here. And you just after you read it, it's a lot of editing. It's a lot of stuff to make. They even told you got to keep a couple of the girls around, even if you don't, choose them. There's a lot of. It's obviously
just goes against your ethics, is what you're trying to say.
Of course, I'm sitting on my soapbox over here.
Yeah.
But no, I was in like Flynn straight away when they offered it to me. I'm like, "Yep, can I do it now?" And then about 6 months later, when the position got offered. I think they were trying to get a sporting route.
Is this when they got Mark Philippoussis, was it?
No, I think
you knocked it back, so they went to the Scud.
He went to that other one, the 30s, 40s, 20s, 30s, and 40s show. So it was similar, but no, I'd luckily be a stain on his bootstrap as far as going good looking wise. So no,
Concentrate on the golf.
Yeah, let's just go with that.
What about you? You talk about we travel around and you see a lot of these guys obviously on different events. So it's almost like a touring party, isn't it? You go from those different events and see a lot of the same faces. And what's the camaraderie like? What do you hate each other, like each other?
For most part, everyone gets on great. Like, the stages of your life as a golf touring pro, you got the young kids that are, obviously very good. They're gymming, practicing, and then you got the middle group that might have a couple ales after a round and relax a little bit, and then you got the guys that maybe don't play much anymore, but they get into an event and they make the most of it, and then I suppose you got the wily veterans like me and a couple grizzled veterans and guys that have been on tour for years and trying to find that spark and still love the game. So everyone kind of knows everyone and gets along, and if it's like any sports in Australia. If you're a bit of an idiot, you're going to get found out pretty quick and told. So.
James, I'll tell you what we noticed today. Our leader shot 9 under par. He's then gone to the chipping green. He was giving Michael Hendry, one of his fellow competitors, a chipping lesson. I don't know another sport where that happens. So that camaraderie that you talk about is, it's hard to put into words when it comes to that travelling circus.
When you mean giving him a lesson, was he saying this is how you do it, or was it?
Well, it was literally showing him, how his short game could be better, and they didn't play together today. They play a fair bit in Japan, and that camaraderie obviously extends all 12 months around. And we're playing an individual sport here. It's not as if we're in a team sport or an Olympic team or trying to win a medal. We're here trying to compete for 150 grand.
And Brock, you mentioned guys like that, like Hendry. Not that long ago, I remember down there, he's that close to winning the Australian PGA, and that's the level or the caliber when you're talking about the players that are here. He was that close in that final round, as was Andrew Dotis, and there'll be probably other guys I've missed that are out there today as well that were part of that big event there that Adam Scott won. Yeah,
that's right. A lot of these guys, and James, can attest to this. They're so close to making it in the big time. And golf is a matter of millimetres at the best of times, let alone tournament by tournament. And yes, you've got some guys who are right on the fringe of playing exceptionally well, but there's a whole group of guys who are only a rung on the ladder back from that, ready to take your spot if you were to slip up. So Australian golf's in a really, really healthy position, arguably because of guys and personalities like James, guys like Peter Lonard, Nick O'Hearn. Unfortunately, Peter Fowler also was another personality due to come up. They're guys who have led the way for a very long time, and I guess now have got the chance to hand that over to Andrew Dote, Blake Windred, Jordan Zunic, and we're really lucky that the depth in Australian golf has never been better.
Yeah, and being that wily veteran you speak of, you were able to go over to the States and sort of run a couple of the tours over there and brush shoulders in one of the big ones in the Open, the US Open over there. What is the difference in that? Like, we see you guys as pros and as us being hackers, how good you blokes are. Is there the next level? What's the difference, or what does it take? Is it so much ability, or is it sort of in your head when you get to those higher levels? It is a lot of, I suppose, what you think you're capable of.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I'm still trying. I've got current past champion status on Corn Ferry Tour, which is a tour below the PGA Tour. So I'm still trying to crack it over there, and I've been over in America for about 10 years now, with or without status. So I played a couple of years on the PGA Tour and was lucky enough to play, in the US Open in 2009 at Bethpage. I played with a lot of the big boys, and it's another level. Like you got a lot of guys on the PGA Tour right now, and even on the Australian Tour, where there's guys that keep their card every single year, and they do one or two things really well. So everyone's talented, but it's tough to be on the PGA Tour. Really tough. There's no other job in the world where you could be top 200 in the world, and you're still battling to make a check every week. But the next echelon, like the McIlroys and the Dustin Johnsons and the Koepkas, and those guys, they tick all the boxes. So it's like every sport. You got a guy that's not only is he talented, he's also a hard worker, and he hits it long, or he has a good short game. So it's kind of, and then most of all, your number one asset is probably the brain. It's personally, I feel like I could get back to a really good level like I used to be, but it's the thing between my ears. As you get older, it sort of makes it a little harder. So it's incredible. Obviously, I'm a huge Tiger fan, and I never got to play with him, but I think I played behind and in front of him in events maybe about 8 or 9 times, and it's to this day, it's still no one understands how good it is when you're actually there, and it's the sound the ball makes, it's what they can do with it. As I said, we're all good golfers, and I'm looking at him with the jaw dropped. So the next level is it's just that prodigy level, and every sport has it, but it's crazy.
Yeah, it's unreal. We talk about that, watching it at different levels, from us hacking around on a Saturday, spending a lot of time in the rough, which you're right, it's been like that for a couple of weeks. It's no good. So,
It took a bit of heart, actually. There was off the first today, like sprayed one into my famous trees on the right, and then he tried to punch out, and he's trunked the middle of one, and it's popped out somewhere else. So I took a bit of heart out of that, watching that. It can happen.
I can do that too. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
just surprised not to see as many go in the water, sort of, you know, and things like that, which is where we used to.
It's all right, you boys aren't. It's not. You're not playing for a check.
No, his temperament was a lot. His temperament might have been a lot better than what mine was too after that. So.
I was going to say, do you ever just sort of we were there today and everything's quiet and that, like, you don't sort of think of going around and watching the races in between shots and
having a durry,
things like that.
Oh, I think I was doing a Monday qualifier for the Vic Open 2 weeks ago, and I might have had the Super Bowl running sort of in the pocket of my golf bag.
Did it help? Did it help or?
I played fine. Yeah, it's. Don't worry, man. Brock. I checked the rules. I'm allowed to watch sporting events. So.
Oh, really? Okay. I must have missed that regulation.
It just can't be obvious to the playing partners. But,
the James Nitty's rule.
But no, it's.
Mate, he's good at reading contracts. He said he read through the Bachelor one. It was the size of that book. So.
I suppose I flicked through it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, because we try that. It doesn't affect our game. You ever broken a club?
Never in anger.
Bullshit.
I promise you, never. That's the. I mean, I've tried to. Maybe it's just I wasn't strong enough at the time. But I've never broken one in anger. One up against a tree, but yeah, I'm pretty proud of that.
You speak about like the likes of Tiger Woods and those top echelon blokes in the sport. How much further do they hit the ball, like off the drive, off the irons and that? How much further do they hit the ball as opposed to someone like yourself?
Look,
or is it just a matter of just being that much accurate? You know what I mean? They're just hitting the spots where they want to hit.
Yeah, it's the prodigies at the top, like we're talking about. Koepka's really aggressive, and Tiger's not aggressive at all. So Koepka hits it as hard as he can, and obviously he's younger than Tiger. And Tiger's probably one of the most conservative golfers, well, one of the conservative best golfers to ever live. Like if you notice when he wins tournaments, he never misses it in the wrong spot, never. And then you whack Phil Mickelson into the mix, and he's getting up and down out of grandstands, taking 100 spot off dudes and betting them, and never hitting greens. But then he's phenomenal around the greens with his short game. So there's a couple. For me personally, I would say I probably average 280 metres on a firm fairway. So I probably carry it about 260 metres, and those boys probably get me by 20. So I'm about around the average, but maybe below average. Those boys are closer to the longer end of the stick. Like Rory hits it miles, but then you got this whole slew of guys that just hit it next level. Obviously, Cameron Champ came out here and played the PGA, the Australian PGA, and that guy smooths at 320. So obviously technology's come a long way since back in the day, and it's a pretty cool debate that they're having in golf now, whether they should wind the ball back a little bit, and because they've done it in a lot of other sports like tennis and baseball, but because every kid's just fallen out of the womb hitting at 300 these days, and it's one of those things. They're living on those TrackMan machines, and they're trying to hit as hard and get optimal numbers, and everyone's in the gym, smashing it. And a bit of the finesse has gotten, lost in the game. So, like, back in the day, you used to know that Norman was a great driver of the golf ball. And, even when John Daly was around, and he was an average of when he was averaging 300 yards, he was 30 yards in front of the closest. Now, the PGA Tour, I think 90 guys are averaging over 300 yards. So you hit it 299 yards, and you're like 130 on the PGA Tour in driving distance. But in the 70s, you would have been won by 30 yards. So it's one of those things where...
Do you think, though, the sport's evolved in the sense, like you said, these young fellas coming through, they're hitting the gym, they're doing everything right and sort of trying to progress it, whereas back in those days, they probably weren't taking the sort of same steps? Or is it a fact that golf balls are developed, clubs are developed, like you're sort of saying, technology in the sport? What do you sort of put that down to?
Oh, my opinion, I think there's more athletes these days, obviously, with, you got supplements, you got gym workouts, all that sort of stuff. But I don't think they're more athletic than they were back in those days. So, Jack Nicklaus could have hit it 330 because the driver heads were smaller than an elephant's toenail, and the
timber, weren't they?
Yeah, timber, and the ball spun a lot more. So, yeah, you could go after it, but if you didn't centre that golf ball, you're going to lose it 60 or 70 right or left. But now you can miss-hit a drive 300 yards, and it just takes a bit of the accuracy out. So, short, the argument would be now guys back then would have swung it a lot slower just to get the ball in the fairway, opposed to now, because the ball doesn't spin as much and the driver is easy to hit. Guys are hitting it harder without being scared of missing it by a mile. So it's a bit of both, I think.
What do you got in the bag? What do you carry? What's your clubs?
Oh, I've got a dog's breakfast in my golf bag. I've got about 5 or 6 different brands, but I'm using a Callaway Epic Flash driver. I think they're awesome. No sponsorship, so
shout out to Callaway. Thanks for the help.
TaylorMade irons and Odyssey 2-ball putter. Had that for years. So.
So that's your weapon of choice.
What are you playing, James? Talk to us through your bag.
My bag.
Yeah.
And he's made of money, this bloke.
Every group's got all the gear. No idea. That's me. I've got everything.
PXGs?
No. I've got the M6 because they told me it's more forgiving than the M5. I said, right, that'll do. Mm-hmm. And it does actually help. Actually, I think compared to what I was swinging. And then the old Mizuno JPX forged something, and then a change a bit over the time. Then Cleveland putter.
Tell you what he was doing.
What do you
though.
got?
He was sizing himself up. He's in the running for a new set of Titleists. Apparently, come through in the black
He's
market
just got
challenge.
Mizuno's.
He's in the black market final.
Yeah, so
running
got to
for
play out
a
the handicap.
new set.
Qualified for the black market challenge.
Well,
at
if
City.
you told me you had PXGs, I would have. That's where you're getting to the level of guy at the golf club that's better than everyone else, because they're like 600 an iron in America.
Yeah, I don't have them.
Okay.
That's next on the list.
They're in the mail.
Yeah. No, that's coming up. Black market challenge. Scramble's on soon too. Yeah, 20.
We need someone good.
Yeah, you 23rd. You
In
want to play in
town?
a scramble team?
20. Hey, I'll just open the checkbook. I'll play for him.
Well, mate, you just heard what he's got in his bag. You hit him left-handed, though. That's the problem.
That's my other thing. I'll stand on the wrong side of the ball.
Or
left-handed,
no,
so-
you're actually on the right side of the ball, literally.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you know, yeah. So so you're in 23rd. You'll play in our team.
Yeah, 20th. Which month? This month?
February.
Hopefully, I'll be
That's a
in.
yes.
I'll be in New Zealand playing the New Zealand Open.
You got any friends?
Not many actually.
No, he's right. He doesn't have many friends.
Wasn't a joke.
I play golf for a living.
Hey, speaking of where you might be next, when do you sit down and work that all out? Do you sort of sit down and see what's coming up like a month out, or is it a thing that you sit down just before the year begins and say, right, this tournament, that tournament, that tournament, I'm going to be there?
Me personally, so I lost my card last year. I'd kept it for 15 years and had a bit of a rough patch last year and lost my card. So props to Brock, gave me an invite this week, so which was nice. And but for me personally, when you're planning your schedule, usually you won't burn yourself out, so you'll play as many as you can. The Aussie Tour, we don't have as many events as we would like, obviously. So you tend to get the guys not missing any of the events. But if you're playing, some guys play in Japan, they're playing America, Asia, and there might even be 35 to 40 events on the schedule. So you've got to kind of pick and choose what golf course suits you. Do you like, sometimes it's, I don't like that town, or it's coming off a 6 or a 7 week stretch, or even to the point where I haven't made a cut, I need to keep playing until I actually make some money. So it's one of those things where you just throw all those into the mix and then kind of work it out from there.
Smokey to be a qualifier next year. Steve Glover.
Not a hope in hell.
Oh, caddy. I said that, didn't I? I said, I'll caddy if you get there.
4 over did it take this year?
4 over to get in, so there's
Yeah, I haven't shot 4 over in my life.
I wouldn't be far off.
Oh, you got a year?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What are you off now?
Not enough. 7 point something.
See?
No
Nothing.
good for the red-up scramble. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah, and not good when he's sprayed in that long grass. But anyway.
We spend a bit of time in there, yeah. So, but you keep that date open if things don't work out in New Zealand.
Okay,
The 23rd.
I'll mark it in my black book.
You'll know the course well too after playing 4 rounds of it this weekend too. So
I played it.
After taking it out, is what you meant.
So
That'd be nice.
10 under
Coming in
tomorrow?
hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
then
yeah.
23rd in the scramble. So just have to work out who we drop off the team. See, that's why I got the highest handicap, so I get to stay in because I need to be there to balance it out. It's a handicap
Fraudster.
20, yeah, so 23rd that comes up there. So no, but yeah, so on a serious note, people will get out and support it. So tomorrow's the last day. So we're talking about this for top. What's the cut? It's not. What numbers makes the cut?
Yeah, top 50 plus ties, and I guess the beauty is that those who can't get out to Toowoomba this week in the City Golf Club, they get an opportunity to watch it on Fox Sports for the very first time. So,
Which is a huge thing.
That's awesome.
It is huge, yeah. I mean, live sport in your own backyard. You know, obviously the hundreds of thousands of people with their eyes on the City Golf Club and all the partners that are involved with the tournament. Not to mention the stars of Australian golf. It's really exciting for the town, and hopefully we can keep it going.
So people want to come out and have a look. They literally it's free. You just go there and you can follow any group around. You can look up the website, find out when people are playing and just roll around the course and watch.
Yeah, log on to www.pga.org.au. We'll have all the tee times up and going. Obviously, tee times will change a little bit tomorrow because of the weather that we've had, but hopefully we'll be back on track for Saturday and Sunday, somewhere around 3:30, we'll crown a new champion.
Yep, so a new champion will be crowned Sunday afternoon, so we look forward to that. All the best out there tomorrow. Hope you fire up 9 under.
Yeah, and everyone should get out here. This is easily the best field. I've played this event maybe 6 or 7 times. This is the best field by far that I've seen play this tournament. It's tier 1 quality, which is, sometimes we come to this event, we're like, oh yeah, you know, good a chance to win. And then this week you're looking at the draw and you're like, what? They're turning up. So yeah, get out and support the event, support the town. It's going to be good.
Yeah, so get out to the City Golf Club. Brock, thanks for dropping in. Thanks for all your help as well. So great to see you back here again. You're a regular in Toowoomba now.
Yeah,
so
no worries, guys. We thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great.
I appreciate you coming on to the show. So that's Brock Greenhouse and James Niddy's join us. So pop out to the City Golf Club and support the Coca-Cola PGA. We'll be back more with the semi-pros after the break.
Summer has arrived at Smithy's TGW Gym with new morning operating hours. Come and make use of our fully functional gym. We have a full range of cardio, weights and boxing equipment at your disposal. You can also soak up the atmosphere in our historic cafe with a coffee and toast for $5, along with a free 5-day gym pass for you or a friend. Summer is here, so drop into Smithy's TGW Gym today, 65 Anzac Avenue, Toowoomba.
Just about done, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Thanks for joining us on the semi-pros to get out and support the Queensland PGA. Steve said we were out there today. It's easy. Roll up, walk around. How many sporting events of this calibre you can go to for free as well?
Yeah, exactly. Like you got guys that have got international experience there, and the best thing is you can stand in the trees and feel safe. Like if you're there on a regular Saturday, you'd be probably an absolute barrage. But
on a normal Saturday, the middle's the safest place to
No.
be. So.
Yes, it is. So there we are. We've got Matt Crockett jumped online too. He might be able to let us know how Quinn fared in the afternoon. So
we were out there. We followed him around for a couple of holes there.
How's he hitting them?
Second.
good, real good.
Yeah, first, second. What did we see him on the
Maybe a little bit off stride for his
standards?
Standards, yeah. But hopefully he was able to hold it together and a good round tomorrow. It'd be good to see him get through to the weekend.
Yeah, no, we followed him first, second, and third. A few holes around there early on. So, but yeah, get out and support that. So second round's tomorrow. Then they make the cut, so top 50 plus ties. So we were talking about that. It was top whatever it is. So top 50 and ties go through to the weekend. So that'll all happen there. So get out and support the event. Great to have the guys with us here in the studio. Righto. Southern Hotel, shot clock. Pop into the Southern Hotel, home for live sport. They've got the NBA All-Star festivities on this weekend, so that'll be on the big screen there. And then next week, the big fight is there at the Southern as well. Wilder. Next week?
This weekend, isn't it?
Well, whenever it is, I can't remember. I think it's next. But anyway, and that's on as well. So anyway, whatever's happening in sport, Southern Hotel is the place to be. All right, Southern Hotel shot clock. What do we come up with this week? Start with you, Steve. Right, so 24. Is the BBL too long?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. It is too long. They either need to start it a little bit earlier in December, maybe just before the holidays, and it has to finish before school goes back.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, because it just like I didn't even. I had no interest in the semi-final and the final, really.
To be honest, same. And I don't know if that's because obviously once the heat were gone, it sort of lost interest, or I don't know.
I know. But anyway, yeah, no, it definitely is. So, yeah.
Too long? Cut it back. Joel?
Yeah, way too long. We said that last year. They did cut it back from last year, though, didn't they? Just, though. It wasn't by much.
Same
but
amount of games, but they just
crammed them in a bit more, the time frames. But I agree with Steve that they need to start it earlier and finish it earlier.
Yeah, no disagreements with me. It's the same sort of thing. It was a great event over that holiday period.
Yeah.
Once, as you see, once school goes back, it's sort of lost its, whereas over the Christmas period, I used to love it. You'd be watching a game every night.
Yeah, that's right. When you're on holidays and you can watch them.
And I was exactly the same. Once it got to finals, I just couldn't give it. So I think that's probably an indication that it's just gone too far. So it's a bit of a crossroads thing at the moment, the BBL. Up. But it's a bit of a crossroads age. It started with a boom, obviously. That it had no expectation to start. It went gangbusters, and now it's sort of plateauing.
It's finding its level, I think.
Yeah, it's probably a good point.
Yeah.
Probably a good point. Okay. Interesting boxing combat sports. We're going to say Paul Gallen, as we know, is potentially going to fight Mark Hunt, the UFC or former UFC superstar.
What happened there? Why is he falling out with the UFC? What's all that about?
Oh, he's
Something to do with
Steroids and
steroid taking drugs. I
Brock
think
Lesnar
yeah, something.
But anyway,
Yeah, I don't follow it.
so now they're talking about this potential fight. Mark Hunt said, "Yeah, righto, $1 million, $1 million, and so on, done. That's what I want. I want $1 million. I don't know if he gets $1 million or how that works, but anyway, question: Southern Hotel shot clock. Good fight, bad fight. Good for boxing, bad for boxing. What do you think?
Better go to the old pro at the end.
Mate, that's a doozy of a fight, I reckon. I think you'll find they've done a few rounds. Big Gal and Hunt. He's a fan of boxing on with the big boys, Big Gal. Just from my time, obviously, spending a little bit of time with Gal. He told me that he's done bits and pieces, I think, with Mark. And I think that would make a great fight. Styles make fights. Gal's obviously, boxing-wise, fairly technically sound. And, I reckon that's a doozy of a fight.
So it's a yes from you. Good fight. Steve?
Yeah, it's probably the best fight since Hulk Hogan fought Mick Foley. What a circus boxing is, really. Come on, like a Gallen, former footballer, couldn't beat a debutant AFL player last time. It's just a money grab. Like, is that what your sport's coming down to? Just grabbing money, trying to promote and fill your pockets? Like, what happened to doing it for the love of the game and getting out there? And it's turned into WWE. So there you go. Bring back
UFC
Hulk.
man.
Bring back Hulk.
The old UFC man.
Well, at least their fights are probably matched up properly.
But the UFC man's coming across wanting $1 million. And
No, Gallen's chasing that.
He's the one screaming out saying, "Give me the $1 million, I'll come fight you."
But no, Gallen said they reached out to want to fight him. So he said, all right, you want to fight me $1 million?
Yeah, is that what Gal said?
Gallen, they made an approach to Hunt for a fight, and Hunt was extremely surprised because remember we met him and he said before Gallen was fighting Herman, and Hunt said, "Oh, I'm friends with Gallen."
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've done heaps of rounds.
Anyway, and then that's what they said. So Gallen, or through Gallen's camp, Matt Rose, obviously, they approached Hunt. Would you be interested? And Hunt said, "I was surprised for why they approached me." Anyway, he said, "All right, you want to dance? $1 million."
Makes money, makes sense.
That's how it's come about. I'm sadly going to agree with Steve. I understand why they're doing it. It's easy for Gallen, you earn it for money. Hunt will make money. Fight Hall again will make money. Fight Sonny Bill Williams, he'll make $3, $4, $5 million in 3 fights. Good on him. Well done. Money to be had. But that's the problem. Is that's the fight. They're the 3 fights: a UFC fighter,
another footballer,
an AFL player, and another footballer.
No, and then you got old Lucas Brown throwing the toys out of the cot because he's trying to make a living out of it.
You know, there's that.
Which is fair enough, I'd say.
It is fair enough. But at
but-
the end of the day,
but-
the sport is...
At the end of the day, the market dictates.
100%.
Not really. No,
Yes,
that's
it
not the
does.
sport.
100% it does.
Oh,
That's not the sport. That's the entertainment.
Take your point. No,
the
no,
entertainment.
No,
but that's
take
not the
it back.
sport.
I take your point. But yeah,
That's how you make the money,
The
though.
market dictates the dollar figure. As I've said many a time, Gallen could go out there and fight Dempsey McKean, the top heavyweight, probably in Australia at the moment, and they can say, "Here, Dempsey, here's $1 million," and they will do their you know what because it won't sell.
Yep.
It's a good fight. It's a better fight than the Hunt fight. It's a better fight than.
But the Hunt
Hall
fight's a pretty good stylistic fight.
Is it?
Well, he used to knock blokes' heads
In a
clean
different
off, didn't he?
sport, but like he's
Still a
UFC
combat sport.
Yeah.
He used his hands.
How'd that go for Conor McGregor?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah,
I don't.
I know what
but
you're
I'm
saying,
saying
but
he's a big puncher at those bigger weights, though. I reckon it makes more of a difference. Mark Hunt, that'll be a better fight than I reckon people consider.
It might be, but
Mate, Gallen's proven that he can fall on his bum. The big boys can knock him on his bum.
so
heavy-handed Big Uso.
So here's the other equation or point. Last point I'll make on this is, what's Mark Hunt doing to ask for $1 million? Does he deserve $1 million?
Probably
Where else
not.
is he going to get $1 million? He's in a lawsuit with the Dana White and Co. Anyway, jog on. Next, NBL. Jeez, the Bullets have really blown this 7 day. So Fourth spot's up for grabs. So the Bullets are long odds. They need to win by a certain amount and teams to lose. Melbourne United's there, and so is New Zealand. New Zealand's the most likely, just based on because they have destiny in their hands. Who takes fourth spot? Who are you backing to take fourth spot?
I think it nearly has to be the Breakers.
Yeah.
Because Brisbane have to win by squillions against Cairns, which is a game they won't win anyway. So they're gone.
But they might, because Cairns might never need to. I agree with you. But Cairns might never need to play for if they want to.
Could do.
Rest and do things like that because they're like, well, win, lose or draw, we finish third anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I stole some of your time. Keep going.
Yeah, Melbourne don't deserve to be there. And Breakers, I tipped them at the start of the year, so if you got on, you're still alive. Even though you look like you've done your money after 5 weeks.
Did you get on?
Nah. $21 they were. I'd like to know what they are now.
I don't know.
But I'll tell you what, the adversity that they've come through, the Breakers though, they've sacked 17 imports and had that many personnel changes. Corey Webster, who was their best player, they've released.
RJ Hampton gone home.
He's gone. It's unbelievable the way they've done it. So good luck to them, but I don't think whoever does make fourth is there to fill the numbers anyway.
Yeah.
The old Kings roll through them. You reckon?
I hope not, but they probably will.
Who you got? Who feels?
I think you bang on there, boys. I think the Breakers are absolute certs to hang on to the fourth spot, and that's all she wrote for them. I think first week of the finals.
Okay, Melbourne. They don't deserve to be there, but I reckon just looking at where the cards fall, because they play twice this weekend.
Yeah.
And so does New Zealand, I think. So Melbourne
and New Zealand are in fourth.
Melbourne play right now.
They play Cairns, yeah. So they got to win both of theirs with a high enough percentage, or they need Breakers and Bullets to both lose.
Okay, they're in trouble. Take that back.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
if they win them both,
they're up 28 at the moment anyway.
And
Breakers
should win. They play Southeast Melbourne or South Melbourne, whoever they call it. And
Mitch Creek.
Mitch Creek's out. Surely that's. But you never know.
All right, Breakers, they'll get there. You're right. Change my mind. Basketball. Now this is interesting. Have you noticed there's a bit of friction in
Philly?
What's they call it? The city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, a big 1-2 punch for the Sixers. I don't know how well they're getting along. There's a bit of friction there. Joel Embiid, who's quite outspoken in a lot of different ways, has put different things on social media, essentially applying the blowtorch to Ben Simmons. And can they? So it reminds me of. So the question is. A shot clock question is, can they coexist or is this destined to end like Kobe and Shaq? It's very similar. Neither of them on the same levels of those blokes, mind you. However, similar scenario. Can Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons succeed? Will the partnership be intact or is it going to end in Splitsville? Steve?
I think they'll end up separating, but just because, they just don't work together the way Simmons plays, just because he doesn't have that outside shot. He needs to be in there. But I tell you what, Embiid's a tough player, but I'd get rid of him. I'd keep Simmons because I think Simmons can, you put the right players around him, he can dominate. I watched him a bit the other day. Philly played Clippers there.
He got the triple double,
Clippers there, and he just did what he wanted. So, put the right people around him. I think keep Simmons, get rid of Embiid because you'll get some good pieces with him. It's
good value.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Embiid's got to go. He's a good bargaining tool to build around the big man, big Benny Simmons. And Al Horford, he's signed a, 3 or 4 year deal there?
I think that was a ridiculous purchase. But anyway.
100% it was. But, I mean, he's there to fill the role that Embiid would otherwise fill, and you can put some other shooters around him.
So no one's saying they'll stay together?
Nah, I reckon they're going to bust up.
No hope of coexisting. It just doesn't work that way. I agree. They need to. So it comes down to who does Philadelphia see as more valuable?
Who would they get for Embiid?
Well, they'd get a lot, to be honest. Whether they want draft picks, whether they want young players, whether they want both.
They want a veteran shooter.
Yeah. Because of the way Simmons
plays.
plays.
That's what I'm saying. Where would they end up with?
Don't know.
What team do you reckon? Haven't looked that far into it yet.
You wouldn't know. But anyway, there'll be plenty of suitors for Joel Embiid because
he's a good
quality,
player. Yeah, great player.
Quality. He's an all-star caliber player. But it just doesn't work. I just can't see how they can win a championship the way they go. Let's look at the Southern Hotel shot clock. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have a look at our Hogan's Family Jewelers, Rocks and Diamonds.
At the Southern Hotel, our Sunday steak special has been so popular, we want to offer it on Saturday too. 180-gram rump mignon, 400-gram New York cut T-bone, or a huge 500-gram grain-fed rump, all for just $23.95. It's better at the Southern.
Toowoomba Together wants to break the silence by empowering our sporting clubs to join together and embed social change. Do we accept abusing players or officials? Not in our club.
Do we accept verbal, physical or mental abuse towards women, men or our kids? Not in our club.
Do we accept foul language? Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Hi guys, Lockie here from Hogan's Family Jewelers. Today we're looking at how you select a perfect diamond. We need to consider the 4 C's: cut, colour, clarity and carat weight. In terms of discussing the cut of a diamond, we need to consider the aspects of the qualities of cut. At Hogan's we only source triple excellent cut diamonds. In terms of colour, we look for the perfect white stone. We source stones from a D through to a G in colour, the top 4 colour gradings. Clarity is another really important factor in selecting your diamond. We don't want to look at the diamond every day and see inclusions or marks in the stones that distract from the beauty of the piece. The final of the 4 C's is carat weight. A lot of people believe that a diamond's value is based just on its carat weight. This isn't truly the case. It's a combination of all the 4 C's put together. There's one final hidden factor that I need to discuss about finding the perfect diamond. It's called fluorescence. When she wears the ring in natural sunlight, UV light, where the diamond is supposed to sparkle at its optimum level, you don't want any reaction. You don't want the diamond to go foggy or a milky colour or even a little neon blue sort of tinge through the diamond. This is why we only sell nil fluorescence diamonds and make sure that that diamond stays crystal clear whether you're indoors or outdoors. There'll be no reaction to natural sunlight. Fluorescence is one of the largest factors of devaluing a diamond. Be careful. Out there you might find diamonds that seem cheap, but truly they're going to be cheap for a reason. At Hogan's, we prefer our clients to experience superior quality diamonds. We only source the highest grade of GIA certified diamonds. That's the Gemological Institute of America, the harshest grading lab in the world. Some of you may have done some research on diamonds before and may fully understand the 4 C's. But if not, we've got knowledgeable staff that will help you and guide you through selecting the perfect diamond. At the end of the day, it's all about quality, and at Hogan's, we prefer quality.
Hogan's Family Jewelers, Rocks and Diamonds of the Week. Steve, you won all sorts of plaudits for your Rock of the Week last week.
Chopper.
The chopper.
Chopper Reed.
We put it up on the page here, I think this morning it was. If you haven't seen it, have a look. It's pretty good. What do you got this week? Are you following up? Or
No, I don't have anything that entertaining. Well, this definitely wasn't entertaining, this was. But AFLW last week, what a ball of excitement this would have been if you rolled up to watch Greater Western Sydney Giants play against the Gold Coast Suns. It's ended up, so this is the whole game. They've played the 4 quarters of a game of AFL.
Yep.
And it's finished 1-3-9, beat Gold Coast 1-2-8. What an absolute
Thriller.
ball terror.
Went down to the wire then.
Oh,
1 point in it.
exactly.
9-8.
In Troy Gursky terms, defensive lockdown.
Patterns.
I wonder if I can get
The breakdown.
They didn't even worry about doing a quarter by quarter because they would have wasted their ink writing it down. So 9-8. Good gee. I'll tell you what. Like,
was it wet?
Yeah, I think it was pouring rain, but that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, does it?
The ball still flies through the big sticks when it's raining, mate. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't mind that competition. There's some very good athletes there.
Great comp.
But that's not one of their finest.
No, you're right.
No.
No, you don't sort of see that sort of score at that sort of level.
9-8, no.
9-8. Okay, so that's your Rock of the Week.
That's, yeah.
What do you got, Joel?
It's got a bit of controversy this week. The Queensland Junior Rugby League on the no tackling until under 8. Obviously, there's a few rugby league players nationwide who are jumping up and down about it. Nathan Peets, I think, was probably one of the most vocal. And then none other than the great Andrew Wangstein Bogut. He's had his fair say on it as well, as he does everything in life.
Yeah.
But no, I agree.
Does he
though.
know where NRL headquarters are?
I agree with what they're saying though. It apparently it's designed to bring the Oz tag and the touch players across to give them a crack. But if you don't like tackling, stick playing that.
Yeah.
Fair dinkum. And then there's no finals until under 13s now with this new system that the Queensland Junior Rugby League are trying to introduce.
It's a worry.
It's the old saying, just give everyone a trophy. That's pretty well what they're doing.
Yeah.
How many life lessons would you have learnt through sport from either winning or losing? And losing. Steve, yourself, you would have lost a few grand finals, won a few. I'm sure you learned a few life lessons from doing so. But yeah. We went and signed Leo up to South Tigers actually just the other weekend, and the old coach was pretty keen to let the parents know that he'll be teaching them how to tackle, training.
Round the throat, guys.
Yeah, exactly. He
can't run without a head.
A few squirrel grips.
Can't run without a head.
But I think that's just
madness.
It is.
Yeah.
And then what happens when they get to under 8s? They don't know how to tackle.
They can play for Parramatta.
So you're Rock of the Week's the NRL or
The
QRL? Sorry.
QJRL, what they are, Queensland Junior Rugby League.
Right. I'm going with, this might sound slightly crazy, Tim Zhu. Right? I like Tim Zhu. He's obviously an up-and-coming athlete and might be the future of boxing. Might not be. Who knows? That'll be determined as time goes on. But, yeah, the biggest fight in Australian history, press conference to launch it, and he turns up in a tracksuit.
Frescon.
Yeah, was that just me? Or
Unprofessional, isn't
does
it?
that show a man versus a boy or what?
100%.
So Horn's there in a suit. I don't know. Is that acceptable? I just thought to myself, seriously? Turned up in the Team Zoo 2 tracksuit. Horn's there in a
I'm on tracksuit.
Huh?
I don't mind that, mate.
Yeah,
Thought
for
it
a
was comfortable.
train.
Thought it was comfortable.
Maybe to the weigh-in.
I just thought something that's getting national, international media, and as I said, billed as the biggest fight in Australian history, could turn up in a suit, couldn't you? Surely. Well, anyway, something better than a tracksuit. Yeah.
Should have got the old Wu-Tang jacket or something.
It's a no from me. Diamond of the week. On a brighter note. Joel, what do you got?
Is Kieran Wagstaff online?
He was.
This really, really pains me to say this, but Liverpool, they are having the most unbelievable season to date. Just about in any world sporting, they're about to absolutely shatter about, I think it's 8 records in doing so, what they've done this season. The 22-point lead on top of the English Premier League table, so they're bound to wrap that up, in coming weeks with a handful of games left to go. They're still in the FA Cup. They're still in the Champions League. They won the FA Cup the other day with the youngest side ever in the FA Cup history or something, like a bunch of 15, 16-year-olds running around against men and carving them to bits.
Yep.
Longest consecutive runs of wins on 18, so they could break it this weekend. The next weekend against Watford. Longest unbeaten run previously is Arsenal in the 2002-03 to 2004-05 season. And they could break that in April 11 should they continue to keep winning against Aston Villa. There's about 8 most wins, 32 for the season. One game off winning that. There's 8 different records they're going to smash should they continue.
Fair going.
Oh, unbelievable. And like I said, I hate Liverpool, so it really pains me to say that. But fair dinkum, credit where credit's due. Yeah, he could have made these guys Diamond of the Week a few times over.
Righto. So that's with you. I'm going with, we spoke about it before, the golf and the groundskeepers and what they've had to go through in order, like even last night, it's belted down rain. So they would have been up at I don't know what time trying to get surface water.
Well, last
squidgy
Sunday,
the greens.
when we were around there, out there pumping, and they had a heap of volunteers too.
Out there doing it, but that's what I mean. But then even this week alone, so first tee this morning was like 6:28. It's belted down rain last night. We know what it's like. There was a bit of rain there. Those bunkers would have been full. There would have been surface water on some of those greens. So they would have been out there trying to get rid of all of that early on. And I just think under the circumstances, so we all love the rain. I'm sure they've appreciated having rain. But gee, it's they've done an outstanding job. So hats off to you guys. And
geez, it'd be green.
as we always joke, Steve, I just wish they'd spend more time in the bunkers because did you realise that if they're working in the bunkers and you hit it in there, you get a free drop? So I think they should live in there. Greenskeepers, they win.
Brilliant job. They have done fantastic.
Yeah.
Considering 6 weeks ago when it hadn't rained, it looked like a
brown paddock. What do you got? What do you come up with?
I've come up with two of my favourite basketballers here, Lonzo and LaMelo Ball. But this time, they're not getting rocks of the week, which are probably up there. They're getting the diamonds of the week because Loudmouth LeVar has found himself in a bit of strife. The big bowler brand is not going so well, but they've cut him. That's it. He's begged them for money. He's begging them for money to try and bail him out. And they've severed ties with wearing the boots. I think even Lonzo might be looking at changing sneaker companies. And, they've cut him. So, tip of the hat. They probably didn't think that would happen. Didn't think that would happen. LeVar's just been left in the lurch, and good on him.
Well done. Diamond of the week. The ballers.
Yeah.
LaMelo.
No big bowlers, just little bowlers.
Little ballers. We've done well. Semi-Pros multi of the week. We got off the duck last week. Your source saluted,
Microphone.
didn't it?
Got the chockies. Last bound.
Yeah.
Just got there.
Good on it. Right. What do you got this week then? Back to back.
See if we go back to back this week. Eagle Farm, race 2, number 8. Torrens.
Albert.
Yeah, it's a pretty handy horse. This.
4
It's
from
4
4.
from 4. It's going for 5 from 5. Trained by Ethan Ensby from Ballina.
Yeah, he does a good job.
He does a good job, especially with this horse.
Is Noriyuki Masada on it?
Still on it, takes 3 off, so it goes up a kilo from its last win at Sunny Coast.
Does he know how to get to the city?
No comment. It takes 3 off anyway. That's all that matters. And this thing, I reckon, will go very, very close. $4 you can get it. Torrens. Race 2, number 8, Eagle Farm.
Steve?
You're going to go State Eagle Farm race 7. Horse that trialled pretty good last couple of weeks ago, actually. Was a perennial place getter, but put it together, and I think it's in for a pretty good prep. Race 7, number 4, Lashoni. Tony Gollan's stable. It rattled home in a trial there. Just found that good thing that Tony's a short Chamert, was it? Or what did he have, the short? No, shorty anyway, ran in that race. So, back to Eagle Farm, get out, run on. Should be good, $10. Get on and go have a big feed.
What time's it on? Dinner feed or what? Race 7, yeah. Dinner.
Afternoon.
Yeah.
4:18.
4:18. I'll go at Flemington, race 5. Best race in the country.
Oh, doozy.
CS Hayes, Alligator Blood, Catalyst, Dalasan, Soul Patch. A few in there. The only one we need in there to top it off would be Super Seth, but it's not here. So we've got a cracking bunch of 3-year-olds. After watching last start, I said I wanted to be on it next start, so I better stick solid. That's Dalasan. I've never been on it in my life. Taken it on probably every time as well, to be honest. But I think, I just liked its run last. I don't know what Williams was doing, to be really honest. That's why he's been taken
Hooked.
off and he's put Ben Melham on. So he'll give it a peach. And you're getting $5.50 about it too. So granted, the Alligator Blood Catalyst go enormous, but it's a bit underrated, I think, this horse on that. Like he hadn't run a bad race in his life without it.
So when they ripped old Raquel off to put Huey on.
And then Huey's obviously around this time around, and Craig Williams got on.
I tipped it last start when it went under.
Yeah, you did. So I'm tipping it this time. So good luck to me. So Dalasan. Right,
I've got another tip for you too.
What's that?
Para. Win the 9s.
When are they on?
6s into 5s. Start tomorrow.
Do they?
Yeah, over in Perth. Can't wait. It's going to be unreal.
The 9s.
6s into 5s.
6s into 5s, the Eels.
Get on.
That's the other bit of silverware. They won one of them.
We won one. No, got stolen off us. They took it off us.
The 9s?
I think that was when they were over the cap. They stripped it. I'm pretty sure they stripped it.
Really?
Yeah.
As if you would. But anyway.
Yeah, well,
we won this year.
Get it back this year. Yeah. Back the 9s. All right. That's a look at the show this week. Thanks, boys. So get out and support the golf. So you can head out to City Golf Club, have a look at that. So all of the action that's happening out there, so get out and support that. Anything else? What's on? Any horses running this weekend for you? Or
No, midweek next
Lloyd?
week, I think.
Lloyd Williams? Next
Yeah.
week.
Wednesday. Might come in with a spring and owl step next Thursday.
Big bag of cash.
Oh, no, I won't. Don't have enough of it.
We'll see how we
Enough
go.
percentage to get a big bag out of it.
Well, we'll see how we go. Righto. Anything else on before we go? Nothing happening this weekend of note?
Just the golf. I'll be out there having a look.
Yeah, it'll be good. So get out and support that. City Golf Club. So new champion will be crowned on Sunday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Semi-Pros.
Just about do, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Semi-Pros. The Semi-Pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. The Skull.